Yep, you heard me right. The Bread Bowl Hot Tub is here. Dinner Reservations and Bread Bowl Hot Tub are the newest episode due on the block and are both pretty major episodes. In the grand scheme of things, I've actually been memorizing the song Commune with Nature in preparation for today. Buford's Bread Bowl Hot Tub has been a running gag since the beginning of the season, so they had to make sure the payoff here was satisfying. So the million-dollar question is, was it? Well, you'll find out in no time at all. Let's get to it. So, Dinner Reservations was a big episode, as it's a conclusion to the arc we've been undergoing since Season 3's minor monogram, the Vanessa and Monty secretly dating arc. It was inevitable as we got the Aurora Perialis earlier in the season, and payoff needed to happen. And of course Olivia Olsen's involved here. She's really taking control over Vanessa, and I like that. Anyways, episode begins with a banger scene with the Backyard Gang, which not only reinforces the idea that the trio hang out without the Finn Fletcher brothers, but also gives mention to Buford's uncle, Oslo. I think I'm also too Stranger Thing brained right now because the Christmas lights took my head straight to Joyce's Christmas lights. Anyways, the gang decide to combine the boys' drones and Buford lights to create a light show in the sky. On the other end of things, we get the B-plot gang, who take center stage once again. An immediate green flag is that Carl and Norm have a role in this episode. Like, this is the B-plot gang episode. You may as well have the entire crew. I mentioned last week that I love it when Vanessa and Norm have a role in Deuce Antics, so having the entire crew here for an episode focused on Monty and Vanessa is only logical. To make things even better, we also have Perry, who joins as well, in attempts to keep the peace, and I think I speak for all of us when I say he's rocking that ace flag colored tux. Marvelous detail. And of course everyone is simultaneously vented to him. Poor Perry, man. Seriously though, the bathroom scene is really funny. The amounts of exposition we get here is insane. I love the idea of Norm thinking his sister's boyfriend isn't good enough for her, or Doof criticizing Monogram's suit, or Carl just being a supportive wingman. I know last week I complained about too many Doof-centric episodes, but it doesn't particularly bother me here. Perhaps it's because this isn't necessarily an episode for him, he's an obligation. Or perhaps it has something to do with the lack of him in the next episode. Who knows? Next week's episodes, however, will dictate whether I go back to complaining about it or not. Monogram and Deuce banter was really entertaining, and with Norm and Carl in the mix here, it just makes the episode all the more entertaining. I feel like I've been talking about how much some of the episodes deserve the double end treatment, but I didn't have that problem with this episode. It felt perfectly paced, and I like that. Also, I want to talk about the animation, and I see a significant improvement. Compare the night scenes here to the ones in Agent T or More Than an Intern. There's a clear sign of improvement here. I feel like no matter what Dan and Swampy try, this revival will never be the same. Nothing will ever recreate the vibe of the first 4 seasons. They just hit different, and that's that. But that doesn't... It's kind of like comparing the first 3 seasons of Family Guy to everything else. Or comparing the original run of Gumball to the revival. It just doesn't hit the same. Whether for better or worse, it'll never hit the same. But that doesn't mean the revival can't be good, and I think it's safe to say that Snibble is absolutely getting better. They can't recreate the vibe Synergy gave us, but they can create their own vibe, and you know what? I think I'm starting to like it. One thing that's worth noting is Vanessa's skin tone. Pink Nessa is finally dead, and by the looks of it, for good. This episode changed Vanessa's skin tone back to Deuce color like it was prior to Milo Murphy's Law. I think this is a sign. Maybe Snibble just needed some time to adjust. Maybe Season 6 will see a significant improvement. It's already seeing some now. I mean, look at the night scenes here. They actually look beautiful. The rotating sequence look clean for the most part as well. Let's not forget that last week I was complimenting the animation as well. So, like, maybe it's happened. Maybe they're finally adjusting. I hope so. Bottom line is, I think Snibble's stepping up their game, and you know what? Love to see it. I mean, they really got a grip on Hamster and Gretel by Season 2. Maybe Phineas and Ferb will have the same effect. Let's hope. Perry's speech was absolutely peak. Like, I think this may be the longest we've actually heard Perry speak in one go. And I'm all for it. I just know that Perry's excessively swearing at them. I just can't prove it. And the song, Feeling Dizzy / Lights It Up, was really good too. Though way too short, once again. Olivia Olsen's second song this season, and it did not disappoint. Aside from the fact that it was too short. With the way the episode concluded, I'm interested to see how this plot point will go now that Heinz and Francis know their kids are dating and are okay with it. The curse you Heinz Doofenshmirtz just felt so good to hear, and I don't know why. Nice subversion. Giving Monogram the bill and then dipping is absolutely diabolical.
Curse you, Heinz Doofenshmirtz!
Incredible episode. A+ tier for sure. My hopes for this one weren't too high, but they absolutely delivered in every aspect under the sun. It's a simple but effective conclusion to the Monty and Vanessa Dayton and Secret arc, and I'm interested to see where the relationship goes in the future. This episode also finally justifies the aurora borealis, because back then it was framed in a strange way that made it seem that Doof found out. Also, allow me to give you the time to process the fact that Monty Monogram shares a voice actor with Chris Griffin. Oh, and do not think I didn't forget about this scene right here. Stacy mentioned, you go girl! Next up is the long-awaited bread bowl hot tub. Ever since the first episode of the season, Buford has been pestering the boys about a bread bowl hot tub, and the entire gang have been strongly against the idea. For some reason, this is the episode where they finally commit to it.
Wanted to show Buford that persistence, to the point of being annoying, really pays off.
Mom!
Well, sometimes.
I love how this moment here not only implies that Phineas gets annoyed by Buford's constant pestering, but also that Ferb is clearly aware of Candace's entire cycle. Nice. Anyways, the bread bowl hot tub gets zapped away by Doof's carbonator and is sent straight to an island with Buford in it. Immediate green flag is that Doof has very little screen time in this episode, and his presence, as well as Perry and Vanessa, only exists to drive the plot. I think it's kind of funny to see Doof send Perry away after trying to thwart him for something harmless and then coming back realizing that it's harming himself. Such a Doof thing to do. Candace also doesn't physically appear in this episode, so this is a full-on Buford episode. No strings attached, and I love that. I was actually thinking earlier about how back in the original run, they were able to make episodes like My Fair Goldie or Bully Bromance Breakup, almost completely centered around one or more of the kids. And that's exactly what this episode is, and I like that. Though this season we've primarily seen Isabella Buford and Baljeet episodes as far as the kids go, we may be able to score an episode focused on Ferb in the next season. I mean, y'all remember how good My Fair Goldie was? Just because he doesn't talk doesn't mean he can't have focus. Perry contradicts that strongly. And then maybe if we're really lucky, we can see something focused on Phineas as a character, like in Summer Belongs to You. But I wouldn't put my hopes up. Anyway, when people read this episode synopsis, they were really skeptical that it wouldn't get the focus it deserved, or they'd go the all a dream route. But I'm pleased to say that didn't happen. Buford and the hot tub he names Chowdina do indeed go on the adventure. And we finally get the long-awaited song Commune with Nature, in a short sequence where he decides to become one with nature, before shifting gears once the animals attempt to eat Chowdina. And I gotta say, this is the first episode in a while to acknowledge the bully side of Buford's character, and it really makes me realize how impressed I am with the fact they were able to make this out of a bully stereotype. Genuinely impressive stuff. This episode just has such a unique tone to it. I feel like an episode fully centered on one character shouldn't be this good. But it just is, and I don't know why. It obviously helps that they gave Chowdina a voice, but still. This episode's kind of just meant to be satire, but they do it in a much better way than I expected. I think the animation helps the episode's charm as well. Chowdina's death was kind of inevitable, like deaths are in stories like this, but again, it was done so well, I can't even explain how. The final speech was both amusing in a satire kind of way, but also really nice. Again, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, Buford heads back to the backyard, a changed man, and once the other kids see that he's finally done with it, they're all relieved. Except for Ferb, who is revealed to actually like the idea for the whole time. That's so in character for him. I feel bad for Ferb. He needs a focus episode to make up for this. Anyways, I don't want to jump the gun, but I will anyways. S-tier episode, 4th best episode in the season, yes. Behind More Than an Intern, The Candace Suit, and Agent T for Teen. I'm not even joking. Season 5B has been filled with disappointing episodes that haven't lived up to the hype, but this one absolutely did, and I congratulate the writers for this episode. Incredible. Okay, we have one more week of episodes until the last season hiatus. Entrance Exam and Dungeons & Dayton are dropping in 7 days. Once those drop, hiatus does too. There will be the last 2 episodes. Those will be the last 2 episodes until 2026. So I'm expecting something good here. I do not want to be disappointed again. Honestly, they may as well have switched this week's episodes and next week's, because this week's were peak. Next week better be peak too. I'm saying it right here and right now. I do not want to be disappointed again. Once those drop, I'll do a big ranking of every episode in the season, as well as every song. Dan and Swampy have not disclosed whether the finale will be 2 double-length episodes or 1 hour-long special, but whatever it is, I'll be ready to rank. We may get another disappointing episode, or maybe the next Summer Belongs to You / Night of the Living Pharmacist. Who knows? This season has been such a mixed bag, it's hard to tell. Anyway, after next week, I'll finally be free to make different content, so put your suggestions down below. Anyways, tune in next week where I'll review Entrance Exam and Dungeons & Dayton. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Oh, also, I think it's worth noting that a zoetrope god is canon to the Phineas and Ferb universe. Let that sink in. Bye now. I got some in my eyes. Lost that god, bit by 100 flies. Fell out of the old tree. Hit every branches, scraped up both my knees. I got chased by dogs. bit by a frog. Got a rash on my leg. Dropped a dozen eggs. I got splinters in 7 and 10. And tomorrow, I'll do it all again.